Shwmae pawb, how are you all? I think I'm on a bit of a roll actually. This is, when you think I had a bit of a hiatus from card making videos, and now look at this, the second one in a week. And I felt inspired by the one sketch, 3 cards, and then I had a little bit of a brainwave and I thought, why don't I do one design, 3 cards? And I love this design of card, the double Z fold or Z fold card. I just love this design, and this is one I've got ready to send using the Meerkat one. So I challenged myself to come up with 3 very different themed cards, all using the same design. So this is the first one I made. This is using Dino Days. So that's very much a little boy's card. So there's that one there, and I'll just stretch across my desk and show you what I used. I used Pretty Peacock, Balmy Blue, Sahara Sand. I used the sentiment from it, but I actually cut the dinosaurs. They were actually from a different project and I cut too many. So that's when I've used them up. And I've also used the rectangular stitched dies, which are my absolute favourite. And as you can see, I used one of these little tiny makeup brushes. Now, you can pay a lot of money for these if you buy the proper, I think they're called life-changing brushes or something. Or you can do what I did and buy these pack for about, I don't know whether they were either $9.99 or $12.99 on Amazon. And they're makeup brushes. And then you can just swivel them under the tap and you're good to go. So there's my one. So I'm using up some of my designer series paper instead of just hoarding it, because we all know I have issues with this. Then I made a more feminine one. I made this one here, and this is something gardens. I can't remember the paper pack, a 6x6, and I'm ashamed to say is the first time I've used it, and it is so pretty. And I used Beautiful Friendship, and this is the sentiment inside, and I just added the leaves then as a little bit of detail. I used Soft Seafoam, Powder Pink and Melon Mambo. The Powder Pink is very, very subtle, and obviously once again I'm finding my mojo in the night, so the lighting is absolutely pants. And I use this little tiny happy birthday from Happy Birthday Gorgeous. So there's my girly type card. So now, very stereotypically, I'm going to make a man's type card. So just to show you, these are the measurements. Okay, so if you wanted to pause this, it tells you your measurements there. The black lines are your cut lines. Then I tell you where to score. Score at 3 inches, 6 inches. So this is 12 inches across. So you're going to need a 12 by 12 piece of card for this. 12 inches across, 6 inches down. And then your strip is going to be 2 inches wide and 12 inches long. Then it scores at 3 inches, scores at 6 inches, and obviously then this is 6 inches. That's right, isn't it? 3, 6. Yeah, no. Yeah. Oh, for goodness sake. You can tell I'm not in work, can you? So you just score the twice. Then you do exactly the same on the other piece of paper. And what I've done then, that my pieces of paper are just a 1/4 inch smaller on each side. Okay, just to give you a little bit of room then. And I'm using the Geared Up Garage set for this, and I'm using the 6x6 paper pad that came with it. The good thing about this card, this type of card, you can use your 6x6 papers. So let's go in there. I found a piece of 12 by 12. I don't know what grey this is, because it's quite a brown grey, if that makes sense, rather than a bluey grey. Look at me, I sound like I know what I'm talking about. So this big square at the back is 5 3/4 squared. Then this piece here is 2 3/4 by 5 3/4. And then it's the same for this piece. So I just use alternate pieces. And the stamp set, Geared Up Garage, is going into the new catalogue as well, is a good Father's Day card. If you need a Father's Day card, this would have been perfect for my dad, because my dad was always in the garage. He would have loved this. So I've also done this design with the new golf set, the Clubhouse stamp set, and the papers. I just love this design of the card. It is just so adaptable for all different things. There we go. So as it's Thursday in the UK during lockdown, we've been out to do our 8 o'clock clap for the NHS, which I always find slightly emotional, I must be honest. So your strip then, as you can see, I've got the contrasting papers then in line, if that makes sense to you. There we go. I've used a really old birthday stamp here. I've had this, oh my word, must be about 7 years I've had this set, and I've used this one here. I think it's perfect for a man's card. So I'm going to, before I stick this piece down, I'm going to put this up here, and that's all I've done to grunge it up a little bit. I've used this stamp here in Smoky Slate, and I've got rid of the whiteness on it all really. So I've got all Geared Up to Celebrate. That will go on that piece there. And I've got some little gears to stick on there as well. So I'm going to, that's my front section. And on this card, instead of having it vertically, I'm going to have it horizontally. I'm going to stick that down, and I've stamped, coloured and cut my car ready. If you are going to colour with the Stampin' Blends, don't forget to use Memento. I use the VersaFine, but I tend to find it smudges quite a bit. You need to leave it to dry for ages and ages. Or you could do is heat emboss one of the other ink pads using clear embossing powder, and then that's nice as well because it keeps you in the lines. There we go. Just adding this up on foam pads. Put that there. You're a classic, that says. What I'm going to do, I'm going to cut my cogs in half. I'm going to use some on the front of the card, some then on the sentiment here. I'm just going to sort of tuck it behind it. Let me check which is the best. Yeah, I think I'll use that one there. That's it. And I'll use this one on the inside of the card. Note to self, don't forget to cut this out using the self-adhesive paper on the back, because anyway I'm going to fiddle and faff trying to get glue on it. I'm just going to put that in there, and I'm going to use my ATG gun to stick this one down. And the other thing I've got, just to embellish this section here, just check if I stuck that straight, is a little oil can, like that. Just going to go up here in that corner. They could use that oil for their knees then, isn't it, if they're getting of a certain age. I could do with oil in my knees sometimes. Then I'm going to stick this on this piece here. I'm going to make sure that it goes up enough. So can you see then that this sort of covers the sentiment piece, so when it opens that's a big surprise. Okay, so I'm just going to find a pencil which is like hen's teeth on my desk, to be honest. And I'm just going to put a pencil line across the top because I know I'm going to cover that then. And I'm going to use Tombow because it gives you just a little bit of wriggle room to make sure you're good in the right place. Otherwise, with ATG, once you've stuck it down, that's pretty much it. So just make sure it's flush to the side, like that. What I might do is just move my oil can a little bit. There we go. Now what I tend to do to make sure it doesn't wriggle around again is I always keep a peg, and I just keep it on there then just to keep it in place. The other thing I'm going to do then, I'm going to add this piece in here. It says all geared up. All geared up to celebrate, but not if you're in lockdown at the moment. You won't be going anywhere at the moment. So this is our 5th week of lockdown, and I have rediscovered my crafting mojo. I lost it for a little bit. I think even though I had time to craft, it felt wrong to do it, if that makes sense, because I feel like I should be in work. So that now, let's go in there. I'm just going to add the glue from this half, because obviously I don't want to stick the card. I don't want it to be a trick card that I can't open at all. I'm going to put quite a lot of glue on the ATG on there. There we go. And then I've got a toolbox to go there. You can see then, once you've cut all your papers, how quickly the card actually comes together. And because I just sort of cut the 3 in one go, really. Now then, this is my trick for this. Open your card up first. Add your glue when it wants to play ball. Then, what I always do is put it in place and then fold it shut to make sure it's sitting in exactly the same place. And then bring your peg back in. Good old peg. Right, so now I'm going to stick these cogs up here. Just add another little bit of je ne sais quoi. There we go. I can't believe it's the 1st of May tomorrow. These weeks are flying by. And even though sometimes it feels a little bit like Groundhog Day, it's surprising as well how much I'm getting done. There we are. So now I'm just going to put some cogs on this side and I'm going to call it done. So don't be afraid. If you like a style of card or design a card, get your stamp sets out and make a variety of them. Because once you're in the mode and cutting things out, it takes far less time. It's a bit like when you bulk cook, isn't it? You only clear up the mess once. So there's that one, using Geared Up Garage. There we are. I think that'll be my father-in-law's birthday card for later on this month. There's that one. Then, that's my original one. That was using the Meerkats. And as you can see, I use the scalloped edge ones there then. And I've got a little section down here to write on because I've used a picture up there instead. But I've got my birthday sentiment on the front. And I actually stamped these in espresso. Early espresso, I couldn't think of the name of it. And heat embossed it. So it keeps your pen in the lines then. So I've got that one. I've got this one using the Dino Days where I've cut the images out of the designer series paper using the framelets. And I've got this one using Beautiful Friendship. So, a productive night, I think. I hope you're feeling inspired. I'd love to see, I'd love you to tell me down below whether you're enjoying these sort of videos. I had a lovely response to my first sketch ones, 1 sketch 3 cards. So look at that, 1 design, 4 cards actually. So thank you very much, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you soon. Au revoir.